Welcome to CCM Talks. I am Bridget Linton, and I am so honored to be joined by our SVP and Director of Renovation Lending, Brad Smith. Brad, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's so good to see you, and I appreciate you taking the time to have a little fun chat with me.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Anytime we can talk about renovation, I'm highly motivated.
Oh, great. Well, that's what we're here to talk about,
Good.
because you truly have helped define renovation lending at CrossCountry Mortgage. So why is it such a passion of yours?
Well, for me, it goes back decades. So I originally entered the mortgage business in '86 and worked in various operations jobs and got licensed to originate in '89. And my very first purchase transaction was for a childhood friend. And we got him qualified for an FHA loan, but it turned out the house had termite damage and structural damage, and he was heartbroken. And similar to how I've deployed kind of a mentor program here, I had people at the time take me under their wing and describe the utilization of FHA 203K, which is the rehabilitation loan. I knew nothing about it at the time, and it saved the transaction. And my friend bought the house. Not only did we make the repairs for the termite damage, but we put a new roof on, which would have been an out-of-pocket expense in the first 3 to 5 years. So it's just such a game changer when you utilize renovation loans. So that's stuck with me through the years. And I haven't always worked for lenders that offered renovation lending, but I always remembered that first story, the difference it made for my buddy to be able to put him in the house that he wanted regardless of its current condition.
And when it hits home, it always makes it a little bit more passionate for you to want to continue. You helped a friend, but now you can help so many other people, which is amazing. But I know there's a lot of myths about renovation lending.
Yeah.
So can you talk about some of those, and what do you say to break those?
Yeah, there are some myths surrounding it. I would say probably the two most prevalent myths regarding renovation is it's too complicated and they take too long. and so at CrossCountry we've worked tirelessly to put together a support team. So you could be a brand new loan officer to the industry, and your first loan, like me, my first purchase is a renovation loan. We have support for you every step of the way, helping you communicate with the borrower, helping you locate HUD consultants, helping you structure the file and put the file together, moving the file into processing. And then the complicated part is really that's to me the biggest myth, because if you currently originate FHA, VA, conventional loans, Fannie, Freddie, USDA, you're 80% trained to originate renovation loans. Wow. They're really a conforming loan with a construction rider is how I refer to them, with a renovation rider. And everything to do with the renovation, we can guide you, whether you're an experienced, seasoned originator or new to originations in general.
Well, I love that. You just broke the myth for everybody.
Yeah,
there you have it. So how do you make renovation loans approachable for clients and agents?
Yeah, that's a great question, because agents really, historically, renovation loans have always been about 90% purchase, 10% refinance for odd reasons. And so real estate agents are the real key to driving borrowers into homes that are distressed, or maybe it's not quite a move-in ready home. We call them the butt homes. It has everything but this, but that. It doesn't have the walk-in shower, the ensuite, or it doesn't have a 2-car garage. And all of those things can be addressed with renovation lending. So I think education is a key. And we spend a lot of time both educating internal to our loan originators, weekly training calls, and on very specific topics that help gain knowledge and confidence to be able to originate and communicate outwardly to your agents. And then we also do realtor trainings. We train hundreds of agents a year via web or in person. I still do trainings, and I love doing realtor trainings. You see the eyes of agents open up when they realize they can use our renovation products to leverage not only a wider property venue for their buyers, but also to gain new listings. So yeah, it's education would be the key there.
I love it. And I love hearing the personal stories. So you talked about it earlier when we were chatting about your friend. Do you have another story that really just changed a homeowner's life because they used renovation lending?
I do. And this is a recent closing that we had, and we were just shooting emails and messages around on it. Can I read you?
I would love that. Yes.
Let me read you the response from this borrower.
And this is from a homeowner?
This is the homeowner, single mom, 2 daughters, a school teacher, and the program we use, which is it's the FHA 203K, $100 down, Good Neighbor Next Door program. So for qualified employees, fire rescue, police, teachers, nurses, doctors, they can purchase a home in a community designated by HUD and pay 50% of the listing price.
Wow.
And then in addition to that, put a renovation loan on and make all the necessary repairs. So this was an email from her to the loan originator, Sandy Lutz, who's our national renovation sales manager, and Delise Galazzo, who is her processor. And it just reads, I'm sure you're both very busy today helping other families secure their dreams, but I would be remiss if I did not take the opportunity to tell you how much my family appreciates the level of exceptionality at which you tirelessly work to ensure we made it to close. I'm honored to be the recipient of the Good Neighbor Next Door program and will continue to consciously model exemplary citizenship, service, and compassion within my community. I will be a good steward over my finances and teach my children and grandchildren to be homeowners, not renters. This is the first home I've owned, and I understand the value is not in the potential for equity, but the promise of being our forever home. Thank you from my soul.
I literally have goosebumps. That was beautiful.
That's our why.
Oh
That's
my gosh.
that when we talk about passion, and it's that we see stories like that. And she's very articulate in her email, and you know, we had another home recently where the mother, we fought really hard to help them get into this renovation, and when she would sit down at night and do her prayers with her little daughter, and her mom would say, if we move into the house, what do you want? And all she wanted was a rabbit. She wanted a rabbit. So we called it the rabbit loan.
Yeah.
And we got that loan closed too, and we have really sweet emails and pictures of the little girl with her little new pet rabbit in the rabbit house. So yeah, just there's great stories. I mean, it's a product that when utilized properly it changes lives, as you can see from that.
I mean, we talked about why this is a passion of yours.
Yeah.
Getting emails like that, it has to make you just want to get up and keep doing this for people, because you're changing people's lives,
Yeah.
which is so amazing. And we talk about your division. I guess you would say it's more of a niche division.
Yeah.
So how do you create a culture of shared goals in a division like yours?
Well, I mean, internally we share emails like this with our
Yes,
ops
of
team,
course.
and so we all kind of have one common goal to drive the business into the point where we're helping and aiding families. And then from a sales perspective across the company, we've set the structure of the renovation division up where if you want to originate renovation loans yourself and you want to get trained and you want to dive deep and you want to become a certified renovation subject matter expert, you can. Or if you prefer just to talk about renovation, but you don't want to get your hands into the mix, we have all 50 states covered with licensed renovation referral specialists. And so you can either get certified, originate on your own using our support team to help you every step along the way, or you can refer to a specialist. So, and we refer to both the loan officers that get certified and the ones that refer to our specialist as part of the renovation team. So, as it's not uncommon to see loan originators walking around with our Reno swag on, and I'm like, who is that person? We don't, oh yes, we're in Montana, or we're in Hawaii, we're in Alaska. So I think, the energy that the team emits, and the openness and the willingness to train and mentor, like my first experience, is so important to me that, I say, look guys, we're creating the next generation of passionate renovation originators. And so we love seeing the young people come in and get involved, and so many ways to leverage renovation financing to grow your business, whether you're experienced and seasoned and producing at a high level, or if you're new to the business and just looking to get your base started.
I mean, it speaks to your leadership too. The fact that your team does want to wear their swag and they want to work together and share those goals. It's amazing what you've been able to do with your team. So what's the next big opportunity in renovation?
Well, I think I already mentioned that, historically renovation products are about 90% purchase transactions with about 10% of refinance. And where we've sat post-COVID, after the sub 3% 30-year fixed rate, and the 400 million homeowners that have rates at below 4 and in the 3s, equity has built up to the highest level we've ever seen. So with homeowners sitting on so much equity and the rates beginning to trend down, we feel like it could be, for the first time ever in renovation lending, an opportunity for a refi boom. We call it the don't move, improve renovation refi boom,
that.
where people, their mindsets have changed too. People want to age in place. They don't want to move somewhere else. Like with our VA renovation loans, we see ADA compliant changes, widening hallways to make accessibility for wheelchairs, and we see the same thing with people that want to age in place. They're coming in and making changes today on the home they currently live. They obviously love the home when they first bought it, but maybe they've outgrown it. Now they have 2 children or 3 children since they first bought the home, and they're looking around. You have affordability issues for other move-in ready homes. So we feel like that's probably one of the biggest opportunities that would be a unique market for renovation lending, to see it excel and possibly catch where you're at 50-50 or even higher, with the opportunity to refi your existing home using the after improved appraised value. So adding bedrooms, there's lots of improvements you can do to homes that will give you a positive return on investment of the dollars spent for the renovations. So,
I mean, I've learned so much just sitting here talking to you. I feel like now I know all about renovation lending.
Get you Reno certified.
There we go. There we go. I feel like I can do it. But for LOs that are trying to cross-sell renovation, what would you tell them so they can make it a solution rather than look at it as an obstacle?
Wow, you said the key word. And it is a solution for numerous, obstacles that you face, but it's also an opportunity to use as a leverage tool to grow your traditional business. And we have numerous examples of loan officers that have gotten renovation certified, leveraged our team to help train their agents. And you guys need to originate more renovation loans. Don't forget about us. But they grow their regular business. And we're used to that. And that's truly a value add for renovation that everybody or anybody could take advantage of.
When we talk about your team, obviously you're a great leader and mentor, and you've been able to create this amazing team. So what does leadership look like in a specialized product line like yours?
Well, I feel blessed with the team that we've assembled here. So I've always beat the drum that, we all have one common goal. It's on my LinkedIn profile, it's everywhere. And this team just, there was no integrating it. They just took to the concept, and we have so many. I should have added the years of experience we have with our operations team. It is decades and decades, seasoned veterans that have been at executive levels that we've put into a role that some might in the outside of mortgage banking think, well, that's a lesser role than you had before, but the impact that they make is monumental. My ops manager, my renovation service sales support manager, he was a national underwriting manager. So he's a liaison between the loan originator and credit risk. So, you have access at your fingertips to these people that are subject matter experts. And I'm passionate about renovation lending, but there's people on the team that are even more passionate than I am. They adore and love this product. It's so cool to see a staff get up in the morning invigorated to come to work in an industry that can pose some challenges. There are some complications in renovation lending, and everybody faces it head on and with optimism and with strength and camaraderie. So for me, all I do is plant the seed of vision and let this wonderful operations team in the renovation division run with and fulfill the dream. So.
Well, you've created an incredible culture, and that is why your team is so successful. So thank you for sharing all this information. Like I said, I learned so much, and I hope that you all learned something as well. If you would like more information about a career at CrossCountry Mortgage, make sure you visit ccm.com.